whānau to another episode of Disrupt the Narrative. We in the building. We've got our two brothers over here today. We've got Zane and also Mana.
It's happening.
Yeah, they're jumping on board. Say hello to the team.
Kia ora whānau.
What's up?
Let's go. DTN Podcast.
Where are we going with this today?
So today's episode, we're going to be talking about the youth worker journeys and when they started doing youth work and the experiences. So let's hit it off. Yeah, I think it's a good opportunity to talk to them about youth work in general too, hey, bro? Mm-hmm. Like, I know a lot of people get into the mode of what do youth workers actually do? I think we kind of dabbled on it in our last podcast, and people don't actually have a full understanding of what we do when we're on the floor. And instead of obviously talking to us about it all the time, I thought it would be good, to obviously talk to people who are actually been on the floor as youth workers. Yeah,
Yeah, well, we're definitely not glorified babysitters. I think that's a common misconception amongst the general public around youth working.
Right. Haters.
Yeah.
Call them haters.
But I think maybe it veers off topic, but it will come back around. Like the youth worker role, like the frontline stuff, it's a day-to-day grind. Yeah. Like, you have to tackle a lot of small wins to see the impact and reflection later on down the track.
That's right. Yeah.
And that's sort of been my experience in Resi in particular is that it's that day in, day out life skills, and really stripping it all back to teaching them how to do simple things that you would think is common sense because we were brought up doing it. Yeah. For some of these kids that we've looked after. Making your bed, brushing your teeth, showering, having some sort of structure in your life is just non-existent. And I know we've all experienced that on the floor, right?
Yeah. As you say, with like the day-to-day grind, it's a different grind, It's not like that 9 to 5 manual labor grind. This is their mental grind. Like you leave work sometimes mentally drained.
I've got the saying when it comes to youth working, and I always say to everybody that tries to come into the industry, it's that saying is, there's two sides to it. I can't believe I'm getting paid to do this, and I don't get paid enough to do this. So take it how you want it, but it's, if you think that you can just come into the industry and be a babysitter, it's over.
Yeah, for sure.
What were some of the things, just while we're on that, what were some of the things that you liked about being a youth worker? Like in reflection, when you look at, like, if we were just to, if you were to look at past clients, what were the things that you enjoyed doing?
I think it's just sculpting a different mindset for the kids, And, a lot of these kids if you ask them about goals, some of them will spit stuff out, but they don't have the discipline to actually attain that. And they're understanding that, like, making your bed in the morning, going to sleep at the right time, getting up at a certain time, and attacking tasks during the day is actually going to get you to that point.
Yeah, that point in discipline and resilience.
And they don't see the tie over or the crossover until later. Yeah. It doesn't land until later, Yeah,
it's one of those, like, you put in the mahi now, you may not necessarily see the treats until, like, these kids are 2-3 years down the track.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like if you're not resilient, I just learned that word the other day. If you're not resilient,
spell it.
resilient.
Yes.
Nah. Bro, because it can be a long progress with the kids, Like you can't change nobody's life in a week. And before you even try to change someone, like, another young person's lives, you got to first look at yourself.
Yeah. It's a key part of it, bro. Yeah. On that topic, bro, like self. Do you call it like self-love? Yeah. Self-love, awareness. Yeah.
Regulation.
What you're going through.
Being able to regulate your emotions. Being able to sit with confrontation and not react out of
Your own trauma.
Yeah. Being able to
out of emotion, out of your own emotions.
Being able to step away from that confrontation and like being in real time, and then while they're swearing at you, and then looking through their lens, and then understanding why they're swearing at you, because if you don't understand that, you're going to match them.
Yeah.
You're going to match their behaviors, but who's that going to?
Yeah,
you know,
that's
like,
a key word too, bro. Understanding is a key factor, I reckon, in youth work. Because once you start understanding of what they've been through and what they're going through, that's when you can start working differently with them.
Yeah, 100%.
And you get to move on their time too.
Yeah.
Because the cool thing is about being growing is we already kind of see the end result, You know, we already know, they'll be thankful in 3 months' time.
Yeah.
In 3 months' time, once we work on this and get this done, they'll be thankful in 3 months' time. We've got the gift of seeing that, but they don't. So it's, you know, being able to journey with them during that. And I think that can be real tough at times, especially when they're, you know, driving you up the wall, bro.
Straight up.
Like, fuck off, I don't fucking like you, I hate you.
Yeah.
Next minute, turn around, can I have some dinner? You know? So, these are all key things, bro.
Yeah. What do you think one of the hardest things about youth working is? What you
For me personally, man, we're in a safe place, eh?
Yeah.
We're on your guys' podcast. Now, for me, like, it's hard for me to understand the system when it comes to consequences. So a child can a YP, and also, you know, still got to go through their scope, but like they could destroy the world, bro.
Yeah.
And then their consequences is take them to McDonald's and get them an ice cream. That's a hard part for me.
Yeah.
Because I don't like rewarding bad behavior. But also, I've also got to think of, hey, I've got to think of them too.
Yeah.
So that's where I get like.
Yeah. No one on the same page, is it?
Yeah.
I don't agree with that as well.
Well, if we were to even just look at it in TCI language and, you know, therapeutic care intervention, the first baseline of the model is self. How do I feel and how am I going to react?
Yeah.
So, you know, in those instances, it can be really challenging, because you'll be thinking, oh, man, you know, someone's been like, let's just build out a scenario, whānau. So someone's been on shift, another youth worker's been on shift, and they've been playing up on their shift, the young person, and then Mana has just come in to start his shift. And then the young person has come to Mana and gone, hey, take me and get me a fucking ice cream right now. You know, and that's hard to deal with,
Yeah.
You know, that's hard to deal with, especially when you know they've been playing up and you don't want to reward their bad behavior.
Yeah.
But also you got to take time to break it down and understand as well.
Yeah.
And sit with
100%.
them in that emotion. And kind of, you know, nurse them through it or coach them through it, so they can build resilience on their own.
Yeah, hard, bro. And I think knowing like the type of client you got to with even in regards to ages, like stepping into the resi care side of things, you can go from like 5, even younger. You know, and like dealing with the younger kids compared to the teenagers, compared to, you know, the ones transitioning from kid to teenager.
Yeah.
Like,
do you ever find yourselves doing the same? Like, because I've done a lot of youth work with different kids, like just a wide variety of kids, females, teenagers. Do you find yourself like diving into different parts of you? So, like, let's say you've got a 5-year-old, you've got a 5-year-old, and then your 5-year-old you comes out, and then you're dealing with a 16-year-old, and you're like, oh, cheer my beloved. You know? Do you ever find that happening to you guys?
So I go through a stage of like, I timeline it, but I'm like, oh, you're at this part. I'm like a big brother.
Yeah.
5-year-old, oh, okay, I'm like a dad.
Yeah.
But I don't put those titles on me.
like a figure.
You're like a figure. When it's a teen, like, you know, if it's a teenager that everyone finds hard to relate with, I try and be relative to them, and I go back to my street.
Yeah.
I go back to where I come. That's, I go back to my street where, okay, I need to be a little bit of street here.
Yeah.
Because these kids, some of these kids look at you either as a chump, or sometimes they idolize you. And I've been idolized by kids, because I'm a DJ and they think that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, can I come to your parties, brother?
That's big months.
Yeah. So I sort of timeline it like that, the age, and I sort of attach that sort of thing to it.
Yeah. I guess that's the best thing about all of us. Like, we're older.
Yeah.
So when we deal with the youth, we've already been through those stages of life.
Yeah.
So we can sort of tap into wherever
different
we need
parts
to.
of you, eh?
Yeah.
Bro, Zane, what did you think about when you first started, bro? Because I know when you first come along and we first started working with Zane, he found it a bit of a different, just a rough transition, I suppose, eh? Well,
yeah, no, it was a rough transition. I think it was the piece around working with a 17-year-old boy who was from the street. I had I was at a phase in my life where I put like that part away. So just going off the back of what you guys are talking about, tapping into that part of me, to be able to relate to him was challenging for me to do, man.
Especially if like that part of your life is like you want to leave that behind.
Yeah.
So you don't want to like revisit it.
Yeah. And
that person's gone.
Yeah.
That person's gone. Yeah. Like a lot of the things that I thought were dead and buried were getting brought to the surface there.
Yeah.
When I first started in youth work. And I think all of us can relate on this, is that every trigger that you can possibly think of is going to be triggered in this game. Like, and anything that you hold like trauma around, or anything that crosses your moral boundaries or your values, that's going to get treated all over, and you have to deal with that in real time. You have to deal with that in the moment.
That's a key factor, I reckon, with youth work, bro, is you can't take it seriously. Not seriously, sorry. You can't take it personally.
Yeah, personally,
Yeah.
And you need to know, way.
It's hard because it blurs the lines for you. Because it's easy to say that, but like, so one thing I identified with me was like, what I really struggled with first is like, so I'm from the street, right? So respect was one of my like core values, right? I'm always going to be respectful, and I expect that back in return, right? And most of my life, I get that. I get that. And then like the alternative to like disrespecting me is, I'm gonna fucking knock you out.
Yeah, we're
So for me to reframe that, it doesn't mean that doesn't come up. I don't express that, but that shit comes up, bro. That comes up.
And when you, even in real time, when you're in the moment and you can see it playing out in your head and stuff like that, and then you realize you don't address it in any way, and then 2 or 3 weeks later you're still feeling the effects of it because you didn't address it, and you still feel those urges from the past. I found that happened to me one time. I had this young person, he was like, "Hey, you look like a Buddha." Because I had a bald head. And I was sitting there, and in my head I started laughing, bro, because I was like, bro, I'd say the same thing. I'd get smart the same way. So I laughed in my head, didn't acknowledge it. And then I was like, okay, bro. And then just went for the redirection and distraction. But in my head, I was like, oh, man, I rang on my partner. I was like, hey, this little fella just called me a Buddha. He's like, you're a Buddha because you got a fat stomach and a bald head.
What's the worst thing you've been called, bro?
I don't know, bro. Probably a muxie.
What's that?
You know what a muxie is? For me, it wasn't a bad term in my eyes. But this is like a saying that they say in juvie.
Oh, yeah.
Which is like a racist term towards like Māori and Islanders.
Oh, okay.
It's like, how you call a Aboriginal like a abo.
Oh,
the coconut.
Yeah, like a coconut. The muxie was like a racist slur.
Oh, okay.
Towards us.
What's it, like another word for hoary?
Yeah. I don't know, because I see Hori as like I'm a
that's
Hori
a good
G.
thing. I'm a Hori
Yeah,
too.
for me. Like a bogan, like how people say you're a bogan, or you're something like that. I think that's the worst. I don't know.
What's the worst that you've been called, Zane?
I think it's a fucking dog cunt. I think that's like
that's normal.
Yeah, but I think it's like standard issue.
Yeah.
Oh no, my ones. I got called a Tongan. No. Jokes. I love you, Tongans.
Silly. Oh no. Shut up. Oh no. Anyways,
Love you, docs.
what's the worst that I've been called? Oh, one cracks me up is you're not my fucking dad.
Yeah.
That comes up a lot though, right?
Yeah.
I think,
But you
I think
can
the same
understand that
person,
though.
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
person told us all that.
Yeah, but I was his dad.
All right, now we're going to talk about trauma. Correct.
I don't think it's like the term for me. Like being called a dog, kind of just thought that was hilarious when I heard it.
Yeah.
Like I didn't actually take that personally, bro. But like one thing, one time, that time you came up when I first came in to the house, and our young fellow was going off.
Yeah.
Like him, like saying like I'm gonna get a gun and I want to shoot you in the head.
Yeah.
Like just like making all these threats, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck. I was, in your head, you're thinking, bro, I could end you right now.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there silently, like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Just
that's the
waiting
part
for
of
you.
understanding, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't carry any weight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
for the young person,
Yeah.
that they're just talking it up because of the way they're feeling in
Yeah.
regards to whatever the situation was, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was the situation? It was just Macca's, wasn't it?
What
Nah.
was the
So
situation? Something happened, eh?
so he came off of like he had
he's
been
on the
away.
come down.
He was on a massive come down.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had sat down with him for like a couple of hours and he, crying about his life. And it was the same rigmarole that we
Yeah.
experienced the entire time he was in care.
Yeah.
And he was just, for me, and I didn't even know that was classed as grooming then, like at the time.
Yeah.
I was like, because naturally my love language, part of it is like kai, right? I'm like, he hasn't eaten for days, I'm like, let's go get a feed, you know?
Yeah.
After we sat down and talked on that, let's go get a feed. But then when we were in the car, he was getting frustrated with the radio but he was just fidgety.
Yeah.
And I actually didn't catch it fast enough.
Well, you're
back
still
then.
green, bro.
I was so green, yeah.
Yeah.
I could have de-escalated that whole situation leading there, but I allowed it to go too far, but just not understanding his complexity. And then, just sort of
But in
spiraled out of
reflection, you
control.
would have done it, eh? In
Yeah,
reflection, you
yeah,
would have done
yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
Completely different.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. But then he kicked the windscreen and I was like, oh, yeah, pulled over. We're going home, bro.
Yeah. I think it's also good to mention as well, because like that's a perfect example of the whole scenario of buying your shift.
Yeah.
So what a lot of
bro.
other people don't understand, Whānau, is that you can one thing that can happen is youth workers will come into the house, and what they'll do to cope with our young person's behavior is they'll buy them things. Hey, they'll buy them things, and we call that, as experienced youth workers, we call that buying your shift, and that's like a no-no in our books. We don't believe in that because that has no real value. Because what that does is that sets the rest of your team up. So
Correct.
if we were to paint a scenario, I've got the young person on my shift and I've taken him out for lollies, chocolate. We've gone and watched a movie. And then all of a sudden, Mana and Zane are coming in on shift. And what do you think is going to happen? Our young person is going to be like, well, are you going to get me lollies? Are you going to take me to the movies? And that doesn't create good symmetry within the team, and helping the team grow to support our young person.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
And I
Big
see
man,
that
though.
as like a bit of I've always called it people
It's just
being
lazy.
scared of conflict, G.
Yeah.
So they're doing anything to stop that conflict from happening with the young person.
Yeah.
Whether they do that or,
Mm.
I was the most poorest youth worker on shift, bro. I made sure those kids thought I was the poorest fella, so they never asked me, bro. Nah, bro. Like, honestly, like I wouldn't even buy food on shift. Because
Yeah.
I think it just comes down to setting the right boundaries, Like, you know, like from the jump. And I think that was one of the things that I tried to integrate into our training and our practice and the way that we work was, you know, from the jump, you set boundaries.
Yeah. That's a good, like, youth worker tip.
Yeah.
100%.
Ting!
Youth worker tip 1. Set your boundaries from the beginning.
Yeah.
100%. I remember my first shift working under Bo, and I turned up to the house and no one, bro, like the person that was doing the handover was like shivering.
Yeah.
She was like, look, I'm sorry. He's heightened and all this other stuff. And I said, okay, sweet as, you know, it's my first shift for this company. I've been doing residential care for a few years now. And I remember walking into the lounge, bro. And it was this little 10-year-old kid, bro, that, you know, just frightened the hell out of everybody, bro, in the house. First thing I did, bro, straight up to him, check my bro. Looks at me. Who are you? I said, I'm the youth worker on shift. I hear you hit the, if I hear you kicking the wall, swearing, crying, screaming, until it's off, bro. No chances at all.
Yeah.
He never played up for me for the rest of the night. He had dinner on time. He had a shower. And he went to fucking bed, bro.
Yeah.
And that was just that small
Boundaries.
Boundaries, bro.
Yeah,
boundaries.
Yeah, bro. Boundaries. Even when I first meet a young person who's actually from the streets, you know, who's actually is about that life, you know, and then you've got to, how do you set boundaries like that, you know?
Yeah.
So like meeting them with force those sometimes those boundaries doesn't work, but sometimes you still got to meet that, you know?
Well, the first part is understanding, like you were saying before, eh? So understanding who your young person is, first and foremost, and the boundaries kind of create themselves.
Yeah.
Because his boundaries aren't, can I play on the PlayStation all night? His boundaries are, I'm going to fuck off at 10 o'clock and not come back till 2 o'clock tomorrow. You know what I mean? So it's about understanding your young person and how to set those boundaries and being creative as well,
Yeah.
And working in with them, because I think that's key as well, is being able to work in with them and what they want. But just, you know, tell them, you can do that, but we've got to set some boundaries around how that works. So, boundaries are key, bro.
100%.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think I learned that pretty quickly. After that first time, I learned that real quickly. But it's real funny. I'm the youth worker that says no to everything.
Yeah.
Like from that moment on. It's a no. No. It's a no. Call my CC. Call the CC. That's a no. Told you it was a no.
They said yes, but I said no.
Yeah. That's the cool thing, because we were all working together. I had already put it down to the boys that if I'm getting a call from the young person, you ring me first to give me a heads up. So by the time the young person calls, I'm already saying no. And I think that helps our youth workers support, you know, us supporting youth workers in that way to help implement your boundaries, because they get it after a while, our young people.
They do.
You know, and they start falling in line, and then 3 months down the track, you know, you don't even have to ask them, they're doing it already. Hey, bro, can you do your bed before we head out? Yeah, bro, I got it. Do their bed. Hey, I done my bed. Is that us? Yo, that's us, my bro. We're out of here. Let's go.
Well, what about when you turn back on shift and those boundaries and those rules have been
demolished?
So you walk back in and the room's dirty and puddle, and you look at them and go, bro, what?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm like, bro, what do we talk about?
Yeah.
I'm like, now we're going to start all over again.
Yeah.
Look, let's forget about that. Let's start cleaning it up.
Yeah.
Let's go, my bro. Let's get this. And then we'll go out.
Yeah.
You get that a lot, bro. Like when you come on shift and then they start acting up again. You're like, hey, bro, I'm not Dara that's on shift now. I'm here. So remember what we talked about, bro? Oh, fuck Dara. Fuck this, fuck that.
But that's the key to boundaries, right? That's because they already know where the boundary line is.
Yeah.
So you can just remind them, like when you build enough relationship with the young people, you can remind them, and it doesn't escalate. They just go, you know.
Bro, my favorite one is like if they don't see you come on shift, and then they start yelling, they'll do the old, no, fuck on, bro, who the fuck you talking to? oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
Because we were real big about boundaries in our house.
Yeah.
And like, we didn't really let much slip through the cracks, if anything.
We were just informing our practice so that the young people could be the best teams they could be. You know,
at the end of the day, the person that we cared about was them.
Yeah.
And if you put them first,
I didn't care about.
He was the biggest carer. Hey.
Just to give you context, Fino, mate, we all worked in the same house. Bo is our CC. Zane,
We all.
Bob was senior.
Bob was senior,
I'm still young.
and then me and Zane were on the floor.
Yeah.
But I started
About a month.
or two before you, Zane. Nah, maybe a little bit longer. 3 months before you. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then that's where like one thing I wanted to say, and what was really cool working with you boys was the support. You know, like there's one like when working for multiple different residential care facilities, whatever they are, there wasn't much support from to the ground. You know, it was like we had no communication with our CC. The senior was just chickens. So it's just, how are you? Cool. You know, whatever. And there was no real like, bro, I don't even know my other staff members, Ben. Like in the house. It was just changeover. You know what I mean? Yeah. And because the only time you see is when you do a shift changeover after 24 hours. But one thing I really want to highlight was when working with you boys at our last company was the support. Like, it's so important in youth working because, like Zane, I remember telling Zane when he was going to come in, he's like, yeah, bro, I'm just going to come pump heaps of hours. He did. He come and pumped heaps of hours. But it's so fucking, if you're not looking after yourself, it's so tiring, bro. And and just to have yous come over, hey, my bro, and then yous will come hang out with us for the day. You know, the whole day, and have dinner with us, have lunch with us, go do some activities with us. No other company I work for done that. So that's what I reckon. What I really highlighted from you boys is working for yous was the support.
Yeah.
I think we just wanted a family environment, eh?
Yeah.
You know, because when I look at even just our Te Ao Māori world, hey, everything's community-based.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was raised by a village, you know, pretty much. And having that same kind of setting for our young people is cool because, you know, not only would they come to see you, they'll go to Bob's, they'll go to Zane, and then on another level, they'll come to me in a certain respect if they're needing something, you know. And I think having that ability to be able to do that just created safety. Eh? They felt like they could hang out with us. If they were going out to do something, they wanted us to go with them.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, like it was just support for support, really.
Yeah.
Hey.
And like touching on what Mana said, bro, you get more quality out of your youth workers when they feel supported.
100%.
Because, bro, when I was working under Bo, it was pretty much like you do what you do, and you let me know what you're doing, and I'll support it. And then that gave me the confidence to just go hard and everything. And I've only had that one other time in my youth worker was with Cecilia at the start. So, and that just gives, for me, it gave me just confidence, bro. More confidence that I knew I could make decisions and do stuff and have my CC backing me. So but then that gets even, you know, that gets the quality of care another level as well. What I find.
Yeah, it was good. Well, for me, if I look at the full circle picture around that, my job was just really to support you to do your job so you can carry out everything for the boys, you know, and then just create a veil around everybody so everyone's safe. That was the biggest part that I felt I could contribute, because I knew when it came to, dealing with the boys on the floor, that you would run that ship, And I think it was good. Good synergy, for our team.
It was, bro. And we got, we
got
lots
some
of
good results,
good
bro.
results,
Bro.
massive outcomes.
Mean results.
I think for me, like especially coming in green and then ending up like in a senior position really quickly, I learned really fast. Well, cool thing was with the support that we had there, I was always hungry to learn anyway.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to, you're always just trying to put your best foot forward, bro. Oh, well, I am anyway.
Yeah.
So being able to like utilize all three of yous in different areas to build my practice really quickly helped, bro.
Yeah.
I don't think I could have got that if I went anywhere else. It would have taken a lot longer, and probably I would have exited the industry or that particular piece of the industry thinking, oh, this is stupid. This is pointless. But yeah, like you were saying, the veil piece, bro, what I liked about that, not only the support, but the ability for us to make mistakes, but you setting the parameters that we don't go outside of certain pieces in our practice, bro. You stipulated and made it very clear that, hey, these are the boundary lines. You just can't go outside of that. But get creative in here. You
can dance on the fence as long as you want.
Yeah. Get creative in here, and if you make a mistake, you need to let me know.
Yeah.
And you would inform our practice by going, okay, well, how do you think you could have done that better? And then you'll tell us, well, I would have done it this way. But it created that, it gave us another, especially me, another way to practice as well.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that's really key to have, is because what you'll find with a lot of companies and a lot of youth workers, everyone's just got one method of youth work, and you have to have a variety, bro. Like, you have to have a kitty full of tricks, And inside your kitty, you got to be able to be playful. You got to be able to be stern with certain things. You got to be able to be creative in the way you do things. And I think that's the biggest thing, is you won't actually learn if you're just doing one method of practice.
Yeah.
Being able to have variety in the way you move and the way you talk, because there are a lot of times you guys made mistakes, like we all do. We're all human. But, learning from those mistakes and then adjusting your practice so you're more flexible for our young person is always key,
Yeah, it's experience, bro. Like, I reckon in this industry, the more experienced you are, the better. If that makes sense. Is that experience?
I reckon
more experience you are. Experience you will.
I reckon if you have a ticket, you're the best.
Thank you to that.
Nah, yeah.
Inside joke. Sorry.
I've come across. I've turned up to a house before to placement, and I got called up early to go in, and there was a youth worker that was on shift that had, got his degree in the certs and working.
Oh, James.
No, this is this is for
sorry, no
company.
names, no names.
Oh, who's James?
James Whittakertungi.
I pulled out to the house and bro, the house was smashed, like fully smashed up. We ended up having to take the kids to emergency placement, but bro, the guy locked himself in the
office.
Another company. He locked himself in the office, and he's literally going through his fucking handbook to find the answers, bro.
Oh
yeah,
it's crazy.
And he's like, there's something. There's like, what, like looking for like, what do I do when it, like, and I'm
saying words that aren't in here.
And like, but like he literally was looking through, like, go through the handbook to see, and because he come,
wow.
Well, that's theory versus practice.
Yeah, and he didn't last long. R.I.P. to that youth worker, bro. He lost his. That was his
sorry,
first.
James.
Yeah, seen to.
We've seen a few people come and go.
Nah, man.
Even in my time, and it's been very short.
Yeah.
What about my first shift and old chicken Kevs?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, so this one time, we can tell the story, eh?
Yeah.
Bro, fuck it. Fuck these cunts. So there was this fella, Daniel.
The narrative.
And, there was this fella at our last.
Can we name him? Can we give him a name? Can we give him a name?
Chicken Kev.
Yeah, his name's Chicken Kev.
Well, we'll call him Kev.
We'll call him Kev. And
Chicken Kevin.
like I was the senior on shift and he was shit scared to come on shift just because of the reputation of the client that we had. And he was scared the whole shadow shift I was with him. And I was like, you'll be all right, mate. It's all right. All right. You just do as I say and he'll be sweet. Sure enough, I get a call, like 2 hours later.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, mate, what do I do? And I was like, what's going on? He goes, he's trying to chuck chicken Kievs at me. I'm like, what?
What was your reply to that?
I was like, what? He's like, yeah, he's chucking chicken Kievs at me and he's telling me to fuck off and da-da-da. And I'm like,
well, you just going to stand there?
So what I told him, I was like, chuck him back. We'll chuck him back. Nah, I didn't say that. Nah.
Fado, you didn't say that.
I definitely did not say that. But yeah, that was the weirdest phone call I've had. Yeah. And I'm like, what are you doing now? And he's like, I'm in the office. I'm like, okay, is he safe? And he goes, I don't know. I've locked the door. Okay. Oh, well, you'll be right. I can't remember what I've done actually after that.
Yeah.
Those are real pivotal moments, bro?
Yeah.
Because like if you're a CC or a senior youth worker, like you have to be able to navigate those situations to help our staff out on the floor. So being really quick with the way you analyze situations, bro, and just having to give the right outcome for them. Yeah. Because I mean, for Chicken Kev himself, he was obviously very heightened himself.
Yeah.
His emotional.
Can we chuck a scenario at you?
Oh, let's go.
Okay. Your butt, what?
Were you going to say I was butt naked?
What the? No, like same scenario.
Yeah.
But you're in his shoes.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Well, it's kind of hard because I would have framed that before that happened.
Yeah.
You know, like the thing is
I wouldn't have got that far.
Yeah, wouldn't have got that far.
Let's say if it just happened.
Oh, okay.
Like
so
random as he walked in the
So
kitchen.
you walk in the
just
kitchen,
started
he starts chucking.
Oh, am I cooking? And then he just comes on, grabs the chicken cube, and then chucks it at me?
Yeah, let's say that.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Hey, don't do that. No, that hurts my feelings.
I'm Chicken Kev. Fuck you, butter cunt.
Oh, trauma. What are you doing then? The fuck did you call me? Hey, there's two ways that scenario plays out, eh? The one that plays in your head
is what you want to do.
Yeah, what you want to do versus what the outcome is.
Yeah.
And for me, to be honest, I would have just died. I would have just told him straight away. I said, bro, what are you up to?
Yeah.
Why are you chucking food at me, bro? You're wasting food for us. What are you doing? Because, the thing is, as part of that, if you waste food in our houses, we don't go out and buy that food again. You've just wasted a meal for us. So now, it's going to make it harder. We're going to have less to eat throughout the week. But, essentially, I just would have moved the other way and said, hey, bro, what are you up to? It's that simple. What's going on for you? What are you acting out like this? What's going on? What's happened? Just go for understanding first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think, in all situations, understanding isn't the answer, but once you've built a rapport with that young person and then he's just gone ahead and did that, with me just going, bro, what are you up to? Because of the relationship I built with him, it's easy for him to go, oh, well, this has happened for me. Mum didn't take me to I didn't get to go to contact to see mum. Okay, bro. Yeah. I understand now. Okay. We'll talk about the chicken Kev thing a little later.
Yeah.
Let's address that.
Because that can head so many ways. Eh? It could be anything, bro. It could be literally he just doesn't like chicken.
Yeah.
And then you could literally just stamp that right there and there.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, bro. Fuck. Let's have some steak then.
Yeah, let's have steak now.
If that's going to happen, if you don't like chicken.
So in that scenario, so you're sort of sourcing what's the actual problem is.
Yeah, what the actual problem is. Just understanding, bro. Understanding the situation and what's happening for him. Because once you understand what's happening for him, then it just comes down to practice. You know, you sit down with him, you engage with him, what's going on for him. Because if the scenario is he doesn't like chicken, okay, cool, bro. What we're going to do is we will sit down together on our meeting. We have our house meeting. And then when we go to do the, the shopping for the week, we'll make sure there's no chicken on there. You know what I mean? And then say, bro, what we'll do is you can choose our meal for that day, bro. You know, and he builds the menu.
Okay, then. Sorry, one more thing. Sorry, bro. What if you're the problem?
I'm the problem.
What if he doesn't like you?
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah, it's a hard one.
That's a hard one, but it's also an easy one as well, because if I'm the problem, I need to find out what's going on. Why am I the problem? Because actually, bro, that's happened many a times. That's happened many a times. If I think about our other house at the Pacific. If we talk about there, you know, that young person there didn't like me at all. When I first met her, didn't like me at all. It was because I was big, I was black, I was moldy, you know. She hated black cunts. That was what she would say, you know. But what I did was I understood her. I watched her, observed her, saw the things. Yeah, and I just saw the things that she liked. And then I just built a scenario around that. So she liked the TV series. Well, it just so happens my partner used to watch the exact same TV series.
Married at First Sight, I told you, you already told us you love that program.
I don't love that program. And that wasn't it. But I don't watch that funny. But, you know, I found out what she liked. She liked a particular series. And I was like, yo. And I started talking to her. Hey, what do you know about that character? Next minute, book wide open. She told me everything about that person.
That's mean, because that's how my practice is. That's how I practice with everyone.
Yeah.
Every one of my kids is finding something that's relevant to them and building a story around that.
Yeah, bro.
And that was perfect that you answered like that, bro.
Yeah.
I wanted to see, because
you're trying to test my money?
Well, I am, bro, because there's a lot of CCs that think they can be a youth worker. There's CCs there's CCs that sit up here and demanding orders down here.
Yeah.
Like they fucking know.
But they can't practice.
But they can't do it themselves, eh?
Yeah.
That's management in general. Right?
Yeah, that's most management,
That's
eh? Most management don't have much floor experience.
Yeah.
Eh? But that was the cool thing, is we all come from the ground up. So, you know, we know how to practice on the floor. And we would even come back on the floor just to test our practice.
Yeah.
Just to keep us relevant, eh, bro? You know, just to keep our skills honed in. But yeah, no, that's exactly what I'll do, bro. Find something they like and then build out that. And then, you know, gain trust through that. You know, 3 weeks later, we're watching the same program together at that time every afternoon.
Yeah,
you know,
married at first shot.
Well, I watched 350 episodes of Naruto with one of our white peas.
Yeah, bro.
Oh, is that all broke?
Yeah.
Break.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no money.
Oh, Bitcoin.
But you know, that's
Bitcoin.
You end up like for me, I just tapped into something that I enjoyed when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
You know?
Bro, I loved anime growing up.
So
it's like,
he was super excited about it. So I'm like, okay, I need to get excited about it so we can talk about it.
Yeah.
And all we did was talk about it, bro. And it built my relationship with him like real close.
Yeah, real quick too, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Because they trust you with everything and you're like, bro, let's just put this on hold. Let's go have dinner and we'll come back and watch it.
Yeah,
bro.
Absolutely.
Hey.
Best way, bro.
Best way to do it. Hey, we're at 46 minutes. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Oh, dope.
Where we going now?
Yeah. I just wanted to quickly say it because I thought the camera only lasted 30.
We're using that.
Oh,
bro, how's about...
did you turn on airplane mode?
Yeah. Oh. Did you want to ask us some questions?
Yeah.
Has any YP tried to touch a diddle?
Nope.
Honest question.
No. Okay. Honest question. Honest answer. Just the YW.
And what was his name?
No, I can't say that. No one's trying to touch me in my doodle, bro. It's quite a sacred area. And there's only one key to that door, and it's my own fanny.
Bro, I've got a good question for you, bro. Zane, what do you think are your weaknesses in your youth work practice, bro?
Ooh.
Like, where do you think you're
Dum,
weak?
dum, dum. You're here.
Having the ability to play, bro. That's probably one area.
Yeah.
I'm quite the serious, task orientated.
The dad.
The dad.
We've had that convo about
yeah,
that.
Yeah. I do struggle to play, bro, because I'm always thinking future for them.
Yep.
And so the only real connection I really could make to play outside of that was like if we were watching like a movie but I always relate it back to a life lesson, bro.
Okay.
And I'd always practice it that way.
Yeah.
Same as anime. I watch anime and then I would make it relatable
I think
to
that's
their
where
life.
we're the same age. We watch movies the same way.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
So my ability
Both
to
thoughts.
be
Narrative
to be super playful was probably my weakness, bro. And that I can think of. There's probably
Bro,
many others.
that's a good one, eh?
bro. And it's good that you can like
Analyze it and
analyze it like that.
What about you, Mana?
Fuck. Bro, honestly, I don't have any.
Oh, let's go.
See, confidence,
Hey.
confidence.
So all those times he was pulling a sickie.
Hey.
All right, let's be
I
honest now.
had 2 or 3 jobs, bro, when I was
Yeah.
youth working at the same time. So even though I wasn't working with views, I was still making money. Ka-ching.
So,
Nah, okay.
concentrating on one job.
My weakness, I think, was there's always 2 sides of youth working. There's being a good youth worker, caring about the kids, making sure it gets done, everything being playful, which I was good at. But the other side that I wasn't good at was the paperwork. I used to have to ring my brother up to help me with words.
Yeah.
To say, can you help me? And there's no how the fuck are you supposed to be a good youth worker when you can't document it?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, so all that work means nothing if you can't document it. So that was my week. Like,
It's not nothing. It means not.
well,
It means something.
it means something.
Yeah.
It means something to you and that kid.
To us,
And-
but
and-
then
and as
as like the company
Yeah.
and all that,
child safety.
that's when it means sort of.
No, but we like if we think about what he's saying, we judge a perfect youth worker as someone who can practice and do paperwork. Okay, Whānau? So that's what a perfect youth worker is to us.
Yeah. So
As someone that can document as well as practice on the floor with them.
But I think initially you were like that, but I think you developed
yeah.
very well. Like you
Well-
developed in that area.
The thing is, bro, is because I was working with you guys, for you guys, I tried.
Yeah.
When I was working with another company, like all that mattered to me is that I was making a difference to this kid.
Yeah.
Yep.
And when I was working for those other companies, I thought I was a good youth worker.
Mm.
I was. But there's,
You were half the youth
I
worker.
was, I wasn't completing it. You know?
Yeah,
I was,
Yeah.
I'll go, But I like I said, I'd still done it.
Yeah.
But I was just like, there was no effort behind it, bro. Until I
Yeah.
actually come and work for you guys, and it was just like, like I said, that was my weakness. But will ring me up, bro. Why is this day missing?
Yeah.
And they'll be on my, because I used to type it out and then
and draft.
draft
Mm.
and then do it like that. But yeah, so that was my weakness. I think.
Yeah.
No, I think those are both valid
Yeah.
weaknesses.
Very hard.
And I have viewed both of them.
I've witnessed both of them.
No, but I think there's a real honest answers too, bro?
Yeah.
Like, you kind of have to search yourself a bit when you're doing this kind of
You
work,
have to be,
bro?
bro.
Yeah.
Hard.
Yeah. What about you? What do you find as your
Nothing. Shit. Do you know who I am?
well then, if we change that question up, like, what did you struggle with? What was the biggest part?
My first thing would be the same as Mana.
Yeah.
It was like the paperwork side. It was not that I didn't know how to do it.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to do it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I was just like, bro, I'm like exact same as Mana. Like, I'm doing the mahi on the floor, bro.
Yeah.
Like, my thought was like, why do I have to tell these fellas what I know I'm doing?
Yeah.
I'm like, if you want to come see what I'm doing, come and have a look.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to document it all just for you to be like, oh yeah, he's doing his job.
Yeah.
In my head, it was like, I know I'm doing my job. And I know I'm good at it.
Yeah.
And if you want to see it, come have a look.
Have a look, yeah.
You know? That was my thought.
Yeah.
But then once I got to know how to do it all a bit more, and then realizing coming a CC and then learning how you do need all of that, not for like management and that. It's also for like child safety.
Stakeholders.
Like, stakeholders, bro. And then that's when I realized,
it's important.
I'm not fighting the man. This is for everyone to see how this guy, like this kid is doing. Yeah. So that probably was, now it's not.
Yeah.
But I reckon now is the getting too dedicated to work. Yeah. Where I'll let it consume me.
Yeah.
Where I think we could both talk on that. Where it's like when I'm working and I'm passionate, I'll give everything. And then all my other values sort of slip away from me. And I just focus on work. Yeah. That's one of my biggest downfalls, I reckon.
Yeah. Well, I got stuck in that tunnel as well.
Yeah.
Bro. Hard out.
I never got stuck in that tunnel.
I know.
Yeah, we know that.
I got one of those calls.
54 hours a fortnight, my brother.
Like, we need someone to fill a shift. I'll call
Zane.
I'll call my
No, but that's actually really something quite big, because when you're so passionate about it, the actual work itself, you can go down that rabbit hole, bro, and that rabbit hole can get pretty grim quickly, bro. And then you just lose time. Time is
like it felt like 6 months when like that for me.
Bro. You've done 80 hours this week. That's not including the sleeping that you've done at work, you know?
Straight.
But when you're about it, bro, you're like,
I think that just shows
like when you're passionate about it and you're dedicated to that.
Well, I'm gonna stop you. I'm gonna stop you there. You don't have to be about it.
No, that's what we're. That's what we're.
80 hours to be about it, okay?
But for us, that's how we operate.
Well, that's us sitting in purpose.
That's how we sit in purpose.
I felt like I'm gonna get defensive. I was about it for 54 hours of the week. Hey, bro, but look, I was happy, okay? Bro, well, my purpose was my family. You guys were like all I can.
I hate my family. Fuck all of them.
But I just wanted to be. I just had a newborn baby. I just wanted to be the most present father that I fucking could be.
Nice, bro. That's where when I come out of that, is exactly what I was like. What the fuck was I doing, bro? Missed all this time with my daughter. Bro. Saying, "Oh no, I can't have it this weekend because I got to work," or "Can't have it this day because I'm choosing work."
That's probably the other side we could talk about, bro, is like balancing your personal life.
Yeah, that was non-existent. For me, bro.
54 hours a fortnight. Bro, I'm telling you. Bro, I work 54 hours a fortnight. I pay my bills. I spend heaps of time with my family. Bro, that's 3 days a week.
Now you're showing off, man.
I work 3 days a week. My missus didn't have to work. She stays home. I do have a couple of side hobbies on the side, but like I was living a purposeful life with Mahi and at home.
No, I agree.
And that's hard, bro. And that's how I think you should.
Absolutely. Absolutely, bro.
You're the perfect image of what a youth worker should be. Minus the paperwork.
Yeah, nah.
I think we can. We get so easily sucked into that, like us three, because I know because we work together. We get sucked into that. Hey, it's almost like fucking. Hey, we're going to war. All right, charging.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I feel like you're going to war with me. That's enough about me. That's enough about me.
This isn't just about you, mana.
All I hear is us three. Us three. Fuck. I get it. You're fucking slave workers.
But there were a few times where, we would all be working really hard, back to back.
Yeah.
For weeks on end, just to get the results for our young people,
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes when you're sitting in that for so long, all you think about is their progress when you forget yourself. And then on top of that as well, your own family, because I knew like my partner was at home. Where are you?
Oh, yeah.
Like for weeks on end, and I'm like, babe, you know exactly what I'm doing. I'm trying to help this young fella get this done.
Straight.
Yeah, I remember being on shift on 24-hour shifts some nights, and
Well, me and
We
Mana
were
went
sitting-
6 weeks back to back, 24. Back
Yeah.
to back 24s when we only had me and him.
Yeah.
we ran
Yeah.
the house. Yeah,
Because you were, well,
opening other houses.
opening other
we're-
houses.
we're-
Yeah.
With our powers combined.
So me and Mana had to hold the fort down, and we were burning it pretty.
Bro, how was that experience, bro? Because if we still remember that context, bro, me and Tima, we were off trying to save the world,
Yeah.
and that left you guys just used to look after the house because the other two people that were working in the house had left.
Yeah.
They weren't present in the house, and you just had to work to make the house safe and keep our young person happy and still kick goals for them.
Yeah.
I'm going to start us off with this saying. It was actually really good because the only mahi that was getting like delivered across the floor was through me and Zane.
Yeah.
So it was just,
We knew
knew
exactly
we'd
where
come
we were
in.
at.
and when it was like that, we were planning the whole week, bro.
Yeah.
The whole week was already
Yeah,
planned
so I
out.
find that easier
Yeah.
than having
Like a smaller team?
four different youth workers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And planning your week with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if it's just used to, bro, you just plan it with used to.
But we monitored who come in the house in terms of support workers.
Mm.
We monitored who would be like, red flag, bro, nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
It's just on the days that you're not sharp.
Yeah.
When you're not
Yeah.
100%, you need that
When you
extra
need that
support.
bro.
Yeah. When you know you're not really up for it.
Yeah, sometimes you have to dig deep,
you have to
bro.
dig really deep. And that's where it's really good to just have just bounce off each other, bro.
Mhm.
And then leave you guys out in the abyss somewhere. Wherever, fuck, because you like you fellas were doing the same thing,
Yeah.
at the time.
We both played our parte, like
Yeah.
you were the bomb. These are the tasks for the week.
Yeah.
You're going to get it done.
Yeah.
No ifs or buts.
Yeah.
I think it upskilled you really quick.
It did, bro. It
Yeah.
actually really did, eh?
Yeah.
It taught us how we wanted the ship to be run.
Yeah.
too, when the other people came in, because we could just effective immediately establish that, and you would just be like, "Yep."
Yeah.
It was funny that as well.
Yeah.
Bro, he was all good. Yeah. Who's on shift? Da-da-da. Oh, yeah, nah. Don't let them come in. All right, sweet as it, bro. Trying to find cover for the shift.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, it was like
don't get them
that.
back.
Yeah.
Because the difference between someone that's a casual and then someone that has a line in their placement,
Yeah, it's
As
very
a-
different, eh?
a casual worker is just there to do the 8 hours.
Yeah.
Where when we're in a place where we're there every single day,
Yeah.
we
Well, you can lose
making
all of
change.
the work that you've done in
Yeah.
the whole 2 weeks in
Yeah.
the space of one shift
Yeah.
from a casual coming in.
From a casual
And that's
coming
not saying, Fano, that we dislike casuals or we like to pick
Nah,
and
I hate
choose to
casuals.
start.
Fuck you. Fucking casual.
It's not.
motherfucker.
We're not saying that at all. But it is
Cut
good.
it out. Cut it out.
It is good to have a pool of casuals that you can trust. though.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you got to also be aware of the people that are on as well, and
Yeah.
just be able to support them, the actual team.
Yeah. So if you're a casual like youth worker, do better.
Yeah.
Just do better. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Oh, that's dope, bro.
I wanna ask you a couple of questions.
Oh.
You know. Who's your barber brother?
Thank you, mana. Kind of fun. Yeah, it's just me on this podcast today.
I actually really very good. Like, Tupac's my favorite artist too. Tupac, shout out.
I don't know if you're making this better, bro.
R.I.P. Pac.
Look at that. I gave him the Buddha one for free. And
No scenario playing that one.
Just wanted to go for that, Suge Knight look.
yeah, thanks, brothers. Mother fathers.
Oh,
Nah, honest question, bro. Has there ever been a time in your youth working career that you've had a kid that's just made you want to give up?
Yeah. Yeah, my first one.
Yeah?
Yeah, my very first. My first one in Australia, not back in New Zealand.
No way.
Yeah, my first one here. Because the way you practice back home is very different to the way you practice over here in Aussie. Back home, before they used to use CPI, calm and restraints.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there'll be instances where you'll be out in the general public, you could be at the pools, and one of your young people would walk past and push someone in the pool. Or, or they'll go to a shop and steal something and then hop in the car. And sometimes you would have to restrain them in that, which was weird because you don't really want to be forceful on them. But it was very different in the way you practice over here, because over here, that's when was my first introduction to TCI, therapeutic crisis intervention, and understanding TCI and then applying the practice was hard, bro, because, I come in and I was thinking, oh, yeah, I got this new young person. I'm going to introduce myself. I went in for a meet and greet. I was like, oh, hey, bro, my name's Bo. And he's like, fuck you. And I'm like, oh, right. Now, in my head, I was like, when you're watching, their millionaire show, and he's got A is this, B is this, C is this. Yeah. Bro, I was playing that out in my head. I was like, A, knock him out. B, cry. I was running through these different scenarios how am I going to deal with this? And I was like, oh, yeah, but I was quite lucky. I had a lot of support from one of my other bros. It became one of my brothers. My brother Simi, my brie.
shout out Simi.
Shout out Simi.
Brother Sim.
Love you, Simi.
He actually schooled me in the game and how to do youth work here in Australia and understand our young people. And progressively, I got better as a youth worker here. And yeah, but he made me want to quit, bro, because he was just pushing all the right buttons, bro. Pushing all the right buttons. I'll come on shift. He'll try and stab me. Or I'll come on shift, he'll chuck a chair at me as I'm walking in.
And I guess that was one of those things as well when you were like, I don't get paid enough for this.
Yeah, bro. And it was just like, oh, it's not even worth it. And then I had a gripe with the system because I was like, bro, how can you stand there and say we're providing care to these young fellas and these young fellas are out here doing this? This is just a babysitting service.
True.
They're actually paying for people to be babysitters.
So that was your experience, eh? That was your experience. What about you, Bob? Have you ever felt like you've ever wanted to give up? Has a kid ever pushed you to the edge that you were just like, I'm fucking over this?
No. I think that not really because of my personality and I'm stubborn.
Yeah, true.
I'm stubborn as. So if anyone pushes me to that edge, I push back harder. I'm like, you want to try and make me quit? Come on, I'll get that sort of mentality, I think. It's like that fight. As soon as someone pushes me all the way to that edge, I'm just like, oh, yeah. Now I'm going to prove you, them, all of them wrong. And I'm going to change your fucking life, man. I'm going to make you amazing. I'm going to make you the best boy in the world.
But on the flip side of that, bro, if we think about what our young people have achieved, the ones we've worked with.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
Hey.
bro.
Like how cool, bro. How cool to be. Even though I wasn't there to experience it at the end, how was it for you guys being able to sit in their front seat and see our young person just flourish in so many ways?
Yeah.
Hey.
Bro.
Yeah, bro.
Bro, hard.
I think a highlight for me, was when we had a young person who couldn't even talk due to drugs, upbringing, trauma, a lot of different things. But he couldn't talk. He couldn't even hold a conversation.
Even eye contact.
Eye
contact.
Eye contact.
Oh,
bro.
yeah. And like, he was always testing you. Like, or we'll be like driving and be like, I can feel you. You want to fight me? You know, like,
You think you're big gay?
yeah. And I'll gibber hard. I'm just shut up. You know,
Yeah.
but wow,
Seeing the growth from that.
the growth, bro.
Mm.
We got I think.
I thought he was too far gone, bro, to be
Yeah,
honest, when I
7-7,
first
right.
came in. And then we started to see his progress as he cleaned up. And then we're like,
Hang on, just before that, I just want to share the story, whānau. We took our young person out to dinner and we were at a place having a kai. And our young person was like, this is when Zane was still feeling new. And our young person goes, hey, can I have some of your kai? And Zane's like, yeah. And he goes over, grabs the whole chicken, and he starts eating it like this.
I'm looking at this, I'm like, this motherfucker.
It's like
Just ate all of his food.
That's
Hey, because you gotta. In my head, I'm thinking he's gonna take one piece.
Yeah, a polite
Oh,
piece
yeah.
or something.
Hey, because in reflection, now how I would do it is like, yeah, bro, here, have this.
have
little
this
piece.
much.
Yeah.
That's why when he asked me, I was like, no.
You've had yours. I was like, oh, hell
You've
no,
already
this is
eaten
my
yours.
guy.
oh, this is Zane. I'm gonna change the world.
Of course you can.
Yeah. Grab the whole thing.
Fuck, I was so much like that, bro. And then
I remember looking at him like, ow. There's what?
What?
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Sorry, bro, carry on.
so green back in those days.
It is a funny
embarrassing.
moment to see. What's
have you got a question for them, Zane?
Nah.
No, sorry, bro. We were talking about
yeah,
growth.
what were we talking about?
We were talking about growth and what you find, some of the things that were happening. Your young person, bro. That you thought was
Oh,
awesome.
yeah. Shit. Yeah, that's
Sorry, bro. I just thought of your young person while you were
right.
saying that
Yeah.
and thought of that memory.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, but I think just he got to a point where he could hold a conversation.
Yeah.
And we actually found that he's a lot smarter than we initially, like,
Like then a rock.
Yeah, I know. Bro, because he couldn't even, like, he would just repeat you. Remember this? Like, it'll be like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What do you mean, what am I doing? What do you mean, what are you doing? Like, you just, are you all right? It's like, what? And then he'll get angry, and then I'll get, and then you're like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
And that's how a normal interaction would go with him.
Bro, I remember taking the same young person to Centrelink, and he spelt his name out.
Yeah.
When we took him to Centrelink, he spelt his name out, bro.
Yeah.
And he was like, did I spell that right? And he's like, And I was like, yeah, bro, you just spelled your name. He's like, fuck. And he's like buzzing out. It's like, I'm like, see, bro, it is here. Yeah. Like, you're not what everyone says you are, bro.
Yeah. That's awesome, eh? Those little moments, bro, because those are the times that I hold on to.
Yeah.
When I think about me, I'm like,
They're your little winning stories.
yeah.
Yeah.
For him to remember that he could spell his name and then do that and then, bro, be really proud of it. And then be like, see, I told you that fella's a shit stir, or, whoever you're hanging out with.
Yeah, there was this one time with the same client,
Yeah.
and he built up the confidence to go get this chick's number from this market, and he got it, and he was like happy as like the happiest I've ever seen him. So but he was asking me to text her for him because he couldn't text, like he couldn't spell stuff. I said, I'll help you out for a bit, but you got to learn how to text. If you want to text a skill, you got to learn. But he knows how to ring, like talk.
Yeah,
So he'd try and ring her all the time.
Yeah.
And then it got to the point where it was like weird.
Yeah.
Like stalkerish.
Yeah.
And I was like trying to explain to him, bro, you can't just keep calling. She's not going to answer. She's at work, bro. She's messaged you that. I've explained that to you. He goes, yeah, but I just want to talk to her. I just want to talk to her. And I'm like, she can't talk right now. She said she can talk tonight. So wait till tonight, okay? Yeah, okay then. Comes back in like half an hour later. She's not answering my calls. I'm like, mate, what did I tell you, bro? He's like, look, now she's not even messaging me back. Like, she's probably working, G.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, all right, I'll wait till tonight. Another half an hour goes. She's not answering my calls, Satuma. Satuma! All right. Oh, what else one time? This time I took him to the movies to go watch a movie. If you've ever been to the movies, you know what a movie cinema is.
And if you've ever been to the movies with a YP young person, then you know.
So we're sitting up the back. He's sweet as. And then he's like, oh, I want to go toilet. And I'm like, oh, yeah, sweet. He goes toilet. Then he comes back in. And all I hear, it's all dark. Like the screen's on, but it's dark as. And all you hear is, Satuma! I look down and he's standing there like, Satuma! Can you open the car? I'm like, bro, this motherfucker. I'm like, no. He's like, Satuma! So I had to like walk down and go grab him. It's like, get back up on that. But yeah, that was pretty embarrassing.
Bro, these are all funny stories, bro. It's good to have a few funny stories.
What about when he was ordering the kebabs?
Oh, bro, that was on the same day, bro. Hey.
Oh,
yeah, remember when we went to get kebabs?
That's right.
What did he order?
Oh, no, he ordered a chicken kebab, bro. But one thing to think about, Whanu, in this instance, we were trying to teach him how to engage and interact with the community, bro?
Yeah.
So part of it was going to a market. It was interacting with people who are selling stuff. It was, having new experiences and stuff like that. And the one thing that happened was we got to lunchtime and we were like, oh, bro, what do you want for lunch? He was like, a kebab. And I was like, oh, okay, my bro, all good. All right, then let's go get a kebab. And then we were ordering the kebab. And I could see him eyeing the dude out. He was like, and I was like, holy Rick. So I said to him, hey, bro, you got to lighten up your face and smile, bro. So they want to serve you, And we were waiting in the line. But what he did is he walked straight to the front of the line. Hey, and that's what got us lit.
What happened there?
Oh, he walked straight to the front of the line because he just didn't have a sense of, awareness around that situation.
No, but I want to know what everyone else in the line done.
No, everyone else in the line were freaking out. But I just stood at where we were at the back of the line. And I said, bro, this is where you stand. He was like, oh, I'm already at the counter. I said, no, look at this line. There's a line of people there. Come back. And then when he came back, I just talked to him there and I just said, bro, you can't just jump in front of the line, G. There's a line for a reason. So everyone has a turn. You got to wait your turn. And then when we finally got there, he goes, oh, I'll have a chicken kebab, please. And I was like, oh, shot, bro. Turned to him, gave him a handshake. Good on you for asking this dude and saying it nicely. Yeah. And then the dude turned around and goes, oh, what would you like in the kebab? And then he goes, chicken? Then I had to turn to him. I said, hey, my bro. The bro over here is just asking you what you want. Do you want tomatoes? Do you want corn? Do you want, all the other sides? What do you want? He was like, I just want chicken. So, when I look back on those experiences and reflection, I'm just like, those were growing moments.
Yeah. Bro, because he got really good at knowing how to go into a restaurant and order food.
Yeah.
Bro.
Mm-hmm.
He actually learned what he wanted.
Yeah.
He couldn't quite read, so you would help him with that. But he'd be like, oh, I want that, and that. And I'll be like, oh, how much money have you got? It's like, and I'll be like, I'll tell him how much it costs and he could work it out. And then he would annoy me because he takes like 100 years. But,
bro, it's good to see the growth from that, bro?
Even the pleases and thank yous, bro, because we drilled it in him so much.
We drilled that.
So it was like, he was like, oh, he called me Buns. Hey, big Buns, big Buns. Big Mons. Bro, we actually had a real playful relationship, me and him. Bro.
Yeah, no. But you've also had a very good relationship in the ways when he was feeling emotional too. Bro.
Yeah.
You know, you could actually go to that dark place with him and, you know, support him out of that, eh? Because I remember coming back on there. Remember one, you know, I had to come in and see you guys that one time. And by the time I got there, you had already de-escalated the situation. You know, sat with him in his emotions.
That was my part in the house, eh?
Bro.
The relationship part.
I used to break his heart and Mana would mend it.
Yeah.
Bro, it's just the same.
Yeah.
Like, I hear you, my bro.
Yeah.
I see you. I support you. And, you know.
Now do this.
Yeah. Now what you want to do? Do the opposite.
Yeah, go do the dishes.
No, but going back to the
I wasn't like that, funny.
Going back to the yeses, the please and the thank yous. Like, he had gotten it so drilled into his head. We're like, Big Moms, can you take me to the train station? And I'm like, you know the drill, bro? And you know, I always think the drill, you know, it's make your bed to your room first.
Yeah.
But he's like this, yeah, thank you, thank you, please, thank you. And I was like, yeah.
Oh, please and thank you.
Yeah.
He would say please and thank you. Yeah.
And he's, because he's like,
all right.
because that was, he understood at the end, bro.
Yeah.
To make this a lot easier, all I have to do is say please and thank you.
Yeah.
He's like, they're going to fight me until I say please and thank you, so I might as well fucking say it.
Yeah. But there was so much growth from that. Yeah. And another thing to understand, Whānau, also is that some of our kids can see 30 different placements before they actually see us.
Yeah.
So having to rebuild that trust again with a new team, new people, and actually know that they're going to do right by you is key, eh? Because, man, you know, kids get moved around so much, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, and it's tough
Bro,
to
also,
build a relationship.
Yeah. One thing I want to say about kids in care and with youth workers, when the kids get like all these things like a TV and all these nice things in their homes, and then they trash them and they'll get a new one. The most common thing I hear, bro, is people going, fuck, these kids just need to be grateful for what they got. But coming from a youth worker back like mindset, you got to remember where these kids have come from. And you got to remember all these nice things in the house. Like if they're in a mansion, bro, maybe depending on the kids, some of them just want to be with their parents.
Yeah.
They don't care if they're living with their parents on the streets. They don't care, you know, if their parents are
they've
abusive.
never lived in a mansion in their lives.
Yeah.
Their whole whānau lives in one room.
Yeah.
Hey, bro.
But that's their love, bro.
Yeah.
That's love to them.
Yeah. Or
So
you're trying to fix an internal problem with a physical, a material thing, bro.
Yeah, you can't, bro.
Can't.
And that's just like a message to everyone out there.
Yeah.
That look in on, you know, kids in care and say, fuck, these kids are ungrateful.
Yeah.
These kids don't know how good they've got it.
Yeah. Bro, most of these kids can't spell grateful.
Yeah.
Let alone understand the concept of gratitude.
Hard out.
Some of these guys can't even spell grateful. Far out.
GR8
Full. And then I was full.
No, but that's so true, eh, bro?
That us? Yeah. Nō reira, tēnā koutou.
I'll finish off properly.
Yeah.
But me and Ez whānau, just shout out to the brothers. Yeah, thanks for jumping on our podcast.
Thanks for having us.
It's
Good
been
little
mean.
trip down memory lane.
Yeah, bro, it was me and Ez, and it's fully appreciate your guys' work. Even when I think back on all those times, I'm just grateful for the team we had, and we had a mean thing going, and now we're able to do that in another aspect, and
still in the game.
Yeah, still in the game, whānau, and thank you for coming on board.
Yeah, thank you, brothers.
Shop brothers, shop for having us.
Cheer my breeze. West side.
Just finish it off with karakia whakamutunga.
Oh. Whakawhatatai. Cheer my breeze.
Yours up.